Hi there everyone.
And welcome back to my channel. This is FX Major, your mentor, the only doctor that focuses on changing people's lives and the only trader that pierces through the market. And again guys, if you are new to our YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and also comment on the comment section below with regards to this specific analysis which we are just making, which is BTC USD, or rather Bitcoin. So on this episode, or rather on this video, I'll be simply sharing a huge strategy which actually helps more people whenever they invest in Bitcoin or trade Bitcoin. So be sure to watch this video until the end to not miss out on anything that we are going to be doing on this specific pair, or rather this specific analysis which we are just doing right now, which is BTC USD, or rather Bitcoin to say. So if also you are new to our YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and comment on the comment section below to show that you are participating in our videos. So each and every video that we are going to upload on our YouTube or on our main YouTube channel will be of so much help to you guys in fully understanding what we actually do with regards to Forex as a whole, or rather Forex in general. And again, we have recently uploaded videos which actually are more basic videos of helping you guys understand what Forex is in general. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, be sure to click on those videos, watch those videos, as they will be of so much help to you guys in understanding fully understanding what Forex is, Forex basics, Forex volatility, and other things which we have mentioned in the previous uploads. So if you haven't watched those videos, I'll probably post a link on the description of this video. So do make sure to click on those links. They will redirect you to those videos. Okay guys, so on this specific analysis, which is BTC USD, as you know guys, that we always have to start from a daily time frame to actually see how the market actually moved or ranged from previous market structure, or rather previous market price. So as from here, I can clearly see, let me just zoom it, I can clearly see that at this point here we had a beautiful change of market structure. At this point here we had a beautiful change of market structure, as it also indicates to us that that certain point there, that's where the market actually reversed. So meaning that at this point here the market actually lost momentum, hence why we had this move to the downside and a move to the downside until this point here. So I can clearly see that we're having this level here as where the market actually reversed, and also we're having this level here at where the market actually retested this level here, where the market actually reversed at that point in order for it to actually come and test our level, which is just this level here, and it came to the downside. Same applies to what we have here, where the market reversed, and also here where the market reversed. So we can see that from previously we had this major levels whereby the market respected and rejected. So removing this to make it more clear to you guys how Bitcoin, let me just leave this one, how Bitcoin actually moved about. So most people are actually investing more in Bitcoin because they can see that Bitcoin actually is a cryptocurrency which continuously and in most cases continues going to the upside and going to the upside. So most people are making profits out of the buys, which is being represented when Bitcoin is moving to the upside. So most people are making more money with the bullish momentum to the upside. But however, there's also a tricky part of Bitcoin. Remember guys, that Bitcoin or anything that is being traded or invested will not always go to the upside, but however, at some point in time it will have to come to the downside. It will not always move to the upside or move to the direction which will be continuously taking place, but however, at some point in time it will have to come to the downside. So we can clearly see that Bitcoin was actually moving in a good momentum to the upside, and when it came to this point here, it rejected and reversed and came to the downside until it came to this point here. And we can see that after coming to this point here, it decided to create a bit of a consolidation at this point here. So meaning that from this point here, it came and created a consolidation for us, and we can see this also tells us that such investment platforms, or rather such investment cryptos, or anything that is being invested or traded has to have its own market movement or market structure. As I said prior, that whatever continues to the upside, it will always have to come to the downside. It will not always go to the upside until whenever, but however, at a certain period of time or at a certain point in time, it will have to come down and probably create an exhaustion inside that market, which is what we are having here. Let me explain to you what I actually mean when I'm saying this. Okay, we can see that the market came from the upside. It had enough momentum to continue to the upside by actually creating these types of bit of consolidations, or rather flags, which help the market in having high volatility with going to the downside. As you can see, the market was actually moving to the downside and had momentum from this zone here before continuing to the downside. Also, at this point here, it created a bit of a consolidation or a consolidating market before actually continuing to the downside. So now we know that whenever we have these types of movements, whenever we have these types of market structure, the market will also always have to gain momentum in shooting to the downside. As you can see at this point here, we had a beautiful impulse move to the downside, a high volatile impulse move to the downside because of what was created here. Same applies to here. This move here is the same move here, but here it's much more larger than here. So we can see at this point here, the market had a beautiful consolidation before coming to the downside, which resulted with it having a much more impulse candlesticks here. As you can see, these candlesticks. So seeing that the market had enough momentum and energy to continue to the downside, obviously it will have to get exhausted at a certain period of time, hence why we had this consolidation taking place. So most people, I'm sure most people have made enough profits with this Bitcoin trade, and I'm sure that some people had lost with this Bitcoin trade because they have that mentality or mindset that Bitcoin will always go to the upside. In this case, that's not the case. Bitcoin will not always go to the upside, but it will also go to the downside, consolidate, create its own market structure as other currency pairs, cryptocurrencies, indices, anything that is being traded or invested in. It will have to have certain market structure because of what's happening in general inside that specific currency. So what do I mean when I'm saying that there's something happening inside that specific currency? Remember, guys, that if you are a buyer of Bitcoin or if you invest Bitcoin mostly with the bullish moves, remember, guys, that someone else in another state is selling that Bitcoin which you are buying. So it will create a bit of or not a bit of, but more of candlesticks formation, or rather market structure formation, which will result in these types of moves being created, such as corrections, impulse moves, all those types of moves which we see in the market. So those investments, or rather opportunities, those buying opportunities and selling opportunities will result with this certain market structure which is taking place. For instance, if let's say you had to buy Bitcoin, remember guys, this is just an example. Let's say you bought Bitcoin at this level here. We also have sellers which are selling Bitcoin, but however, if the buyers are more than the sellers, obviously the market will continue to the upside until the buyers get exhausted, or rather until the buyers take their profits which they've gained from Bitcoin. That's when the sellers will now gain momentum, because the buyers are now lesser than the sellers. That's when the market will reverse and continue to the downside. Hence why we had this type of move to the downside. So this results to us and tells us more that in most cases Bitcoin does not always have, or rather does not always move with the bullish move, not the bearish but the bullish move, which is the buy move. But however, it also sometimes sells. So looking at this, we can see that at this point here we had a bit of a consolidation before receiving an impulse move to the downside, which is what we are having here. We had a huge impulse move to the downside. This is what I've explained, that as for buyers, we had buyers probably at this point here, we had buyers pushing the market to the upside, and then buyers took their profits, and then it came with the sellers, and then the buyers saw that they had enough momentum against the sellers, and then they bought again, which resulted with this impulse, and then they took their profits, and then it came to this point here, created a bit of a consolidation, because there was probably a few percentages lesser on the buyers and the sellers, probably the same level, or the same percentages on the buys and the sells. Hence why we had this consolidation taking place until the buyers actually gained small percentage or the momentum to create this move here, and then took their profits. That's when the sellers had more momentum, or enough momentum against the buyers, and then this is what took place, this whole huge impulse to the downside. Okay, so coming to this point here, we can see that the buyers actually have more, or rather Bitcoin on its own has its own high momentum, or rather volatility in terms of the buy moves to the upside, because I can see that here there was a bit of a consolidation, right? Let me just highlight it. There was a bit of a consolidation before continuing to the upside. So this results and tells me that Bitcoin at this point here, it was actually moving in a different momentum, in a different way. I'm guessing that Bitcoin had lost much, or rather most investors, hence why we had this downtrending move to the downside, because we had a huge drop at this point here to the downside, a bit of a consolidation here, and a bit of another consolidation here, or a reversal consolidation before continuing to the upside. As we can see from this point here, we can also see that Bitcoin here had a bit of an unsure move, whether to continue to the upside or continue to the downside, because we can see that from this point here, Bitcoin actually moved to the upside, came a bit to retest some level here before continuing to the upside, but however it reversed again and gave us a bit of a consolidation at this level here, and a bit of a consolidation at this level here, which these both consolidations might result to a flag if we can move to a 4-hour time frame. But however, I'll jump more into a 4-hour time frame on our next video. Right now, I just want to dive into a daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, and the 1-hour time frame to fully explain what Bitcoin is actually doing in general, because Bitcoin is not like other currency pairs or other indices that we might analyze, but Bitcoin is a much broader currency on its own. So it needs deep understanding and deep market piercing inside it. So we can see that these two consolidations might result as a flag, but however, I'll explain much more on what a flag is and how to cater for a flag and how to be profitable whenever you trade a flag. And flags are much more simple, they are not much complicated, unlike other chart patterns. Okay, so we can also see that at this point here the market moved to the upside and tried to create a bit of a huge flag, which is what we are seeing here, which also is a consolidation, meaning that from here the market came to this point here before shooting with an impulse move to the upside. So this is what I'm actually seeing on BTC USD. So we also have, I just want to show you something which is much more profound and is hidden in most analysis. So what I'm referring to is what I can see here. As you can see, we have a consolidation at this point here, but however, instead of the market continuing to the upside, it came to the downside. This is what's most confusing and actually makes a lot of traders blow accounts, or other investors lose more money when investing on Bitcoin. This move here mostly happens when we have USD fundamentals. Remember guys, that the market will always be influenced by the market makers. The market will always move to a direction which the market makers decide to take it to, but however, they will actually trick you somehow to actually not see those types of moves or those types of market conditions by simply creating to you or showing you beautiful market structures and somehow sugarcoating those beautiful market structures. But however, this is what we call liquidity, whereby we have this whole beautiful structure here which was created and this whole beautiful structure here which was created. Remember guys, that we're busy having beautiful market structures from previously. We're having beautiful market structures from previously, beautiful market structures, but when it came to this point here, there was a bit of a confusion on why this candlestick was created or why this change of market structure was made. Hence why I said that in the market, anything that you trade or invest in, there's always going to be manipulation inside that market. Probably the market makers saw that Bitcoin was actually, or rather the buyers were actually having much more momentum against the sellers. So somehow they saw that the buyers were busy gaining more than the sellers. So however, let's try to actually manipulate the market and let's take out some few buyers and leave out some few sellers. Hence why we had this move to the downside. I won't say that this here resulted in a change of market structure. I wouldn't say that this resulted in a change of market structure, but however, it was a change of market structure through manipulation. So this here will act to us as a manipulated level. Let me also highlight it here, which resulted to us having this spike here. So this spike here, which we have here, is an indication to us that this here was a whole manipulation. meaning that the manipulation might have came through fundamentals or any of the fundamentals which we might have, because remember that obviously Bitcoin won't have its own fundamentals, but since it's being paired with the US dollar, it will have fundamentals, because the US dollar always has fundamentals. We have fundamentals such as FMOC, NFP, CPI, PPI, and other fundamentals, to name them. But the major fundamentals which we have are the fundamentals which I've just mentioned right now. So probably this was created by fundamental analysis, or other fundamental event which resulted with this spike being created here. Let me also highlight it again to make it a huge deal, because we can see that that's where the market was influenced. Okay, so seeing that we had this, we can also see that we have a change of market structure at this point here, where the market actually reversed before continuing to the upside. Okay, so seeing that we had this whole move here, we can see that ever since the market came from this point here, or rather the influence from this point here, it created a bit of consolidation, because the market was influenced here, it was manipulated. So the moves that will happen after are not much confirmed moves. So the market will try to gain momentum in deciding on whether to continue with the buys or sells by simply creating candlesticks which will give momentum to it to actually move to a certain direction, whether buying or selling. Hence why this whole move was created before shooting to the upside, because we can see at this point here the market was unsure, but when it came to this point here, the market had now gained momentum to actually know which direction it will take. Hence why it created this huge impulse to the upside and a beautiful move to this point here, continuing with the buys and continuing with the buys until this point here. So we can see that we had another change of market structure at this point here, at this level here, and again at this levels here, at this levels here. Yes. Okay, so we can see that the market changed its direction from this point here, decided to take